Well, let's get to it. The Durham Bulls trying to make it back-to-back wins over Memphis. Miller Hogan on the hill tonight for Durham. Fourth start. We saw him open on Sunday against the Tides. Went only 1 inning, 32 pitches, couple of runs allowed. No record yet for Hogan. An earned run average of 5.63. So as Hogan begins his warm-up tosses, let's get to the lineup card signed by Ben Johnson, the returning manager of the Redbirds. And here's how it looks tonight. Top of the order playing third base, Corey Spangenberg. Then it's Kramer Robertson at second base tonight. Lars Newbar is the DH hitting third. Juan Yepes cleans up and plays first base. Alec Burleson, the former ECU Pirate, back in the lineup. He's in left field. Ale Sanchez catches for the second straight game. Then it's Connor Capel in right. Evan Mendoza at shortstop. And then Ben DeLuzio starts in center for Memphis. So 25-year-old Miller Hogan, native of Overland Park, Kansas, played his college ball at St. Louis University, takes on the St. Louis Cardinals AAA squad tonight.
Look at you working the irony up.
So Hogan getting ready to go. And as we mentioned, Hogan and Liberatore, they were teammates with the Bowling Green Hot Rods back in 2019. And it wasn't just them. You want to talk about one of the best pitching staffs in minor league baseball that year? It was Hogan, it was Liberatore, it was Shane Boz, Shane McClanahan on that staff, and Joe Ryan was on that low A staff in the Midwest League. They finished with a staff ERA of 3.16 and won 82 games.
I was going to say, did they go undefeated with a staff like that? Holy smokes. That's a lot of big league arms.
Wander Franco on that squad, Jonathan Aranda on that squad, Ford Proctor. Loaded were the Rays at Bowling Green that year. And Hogan that year was 7-3, Liberatore was 6-2, and here they go, matching up head-to-head at AAA. Our umpiring crew, Tom West calls the balls and strikes. Alex Tosi is at first base, Chris Marco at third. The Bulls in the classic home white uniforms as Spangenberg moves into the batter's box. Ford Proctor catching tonight for the Bulls. And Tom West ready to give the index finger to Miller Hogan. And here we go. So out of the stretch. And the first pitch of the ball game on the way to Spangenberg. It's a fastball, foul away, strike one, and we are underway. Hogan, 8 innings of work. He struck out 7, 11 hits, 4 walks, couple of home runs. And spent the majority of last year at Bowling Green, working out of their bullpen. 24 games, 54 innings, had a 3.6. And there's a breaking ball low from Hogan and a ball and a strike. .69 degrees as we get underway. Winds are calm, lights are on. Should be a very healthy crowd on this Friday night in Durham. And Hogan out of the stretch with the bases empty. Home on 1-1. And Spangenberg looks at a little slider on the outside corner, strike 2. Spangenberg had last night off. 31-year-old is playing third base today. He's kind of mixed it up between left field, third base, and shortstop this year for Memphis. He's 167 with 3 home runs. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss on a pitch down low, and the slider takes care of Spangenberg.
There's some great downward action on this pitch from Miller Hogan. It was a slider that had some late bite. Spangenberg swings right over the top. Good start for the Bulls right-hander.
Well, Memphis has gotten out to some pretty quick starts against the Bulls the first 3 games of this series, whether it's runs in the first inning or runs in the second. The Bulls have been playing from behind almost the entire series. Ryan Bolt turned that around with the first of his 3 home runs last night, gave the Bulls a lead that they would not relinquish. Now Kramer Robertson, the 2-hole hitter, and it takes a breaking pitch outside ball 1. Robertson starts at second base tonight. He's 196 with a couple of home runs. This Memphis team leads all of minor league baseball with 40 homers in 21 games, but held without a home run last night. Here's the 1-0. Up and in. Hogan's debut this year came at Double-A. Had 1 appearance for Montgomery. Went 3 innings against the Mississippi Braves. And then brought here to the Bulls in the second week of the season. And now in his 4th appearance with Durham. And there's a little front door slider for a strike. 2-1 on Robertson. Yeah, how did that Bowling Green team lose?
That's what I'm saying.
A loaded Hot Rods squad 3 years ago. Here's the 2-1. Swinging a foul tip. Proctor holds on. 2-2.
Last I heard of a team like that, it was like the 1992 Harrisburg Senators, which had Rondell White and Cliff Floyd and unbelievable big league talent in the Expo system coming through. I think they won 120 ball games.
Wow. Here's the 2-2 on the way. Break them all, swing and a miss. A bit up in the zone. Robertson cuts through it. And a good start from Miller Hogan. Back-to-back punch-outs.
Slider's been a good pitch for him, and he goes right back to it on Robertson. Instead of throwing this one down, this one up a little bit. But again, that tilt is the difference. That ball just drops out of the zone. A good put-away pitch again by Miller Hogan.
And that's the big pitch that Hogan needs because the fastball is only going to be in the 89 to 91 range. But the good slider working so far. Here's Lars Nootbaar, 2 outs and nobody on. Nootbaar the DH tonight for Memphis. Big left-handed hitter. Back foot in the middle of that white paints. And the first pitch changeup, tails wide, ball 1. Nootbaar now in his 4th game for Memphis after he was optioned down by the Cardinals last week. He is 3 of 13 in this series, yet to drive in a run. And here comes the 1-0. Off speed, around the outside corner, ball 2.
That didn't miss by much.
Now Hogan went 32 pitches in his last out, and again went only 1 inning as he opened up that game on Sunday in Norfolk. I think 3 to 4 might be the range for Brian Reith and Brady Williams tonight from Hogan. Good fastball there. Stiffly thrown to the outside part. 2-1. Redbirds in the all gray. Kind of the light red numbers, almost pink a bit in the back. Tough to see when we get a little bit darker tonight. There's a pitch outside from Hogan. 3-1.
Hogan's setup is interesting. He gets that Vulcan changeup grip because it's the toughest to get to. He's pitching out of the stretch, and then he can change from that and go to any other pitch.
So Hogan glove of the belt on 3-1. Here's the pitch to Nootbaar, and it's a breaking pitch down and in. So a couple of strikeouts and now a 2-out walk issued to Nootbaar.
Now the reason pitchers do that is if they go to their toughest grip and they're seen digging in their glove every time they throw it, that lets the hitter know what's coming. So they get the toughest grip first, get it in their glove, and then they can adjust to any other pitch.
Yeah, because hitters can figure out there are tells, there are tip-offs. We were talking about that before the game.
Yeah, there's some sneaky ways hitters can figure out what's coming.
All right, here's Juan Yepes, starts at first base tonight for the Redbirds. Right-handed hitter, and he takes a fastball 90, center cut. Yepes 6 of 13 in this series. That includes 1 of Memphis's 9 home runs. Overall, Yepes has 6 of them and has driven in a team-high 21 runs, which is 3rd in the league. Nootbaar can run. He's at first, not going. And a curveball over but low. First one of those we've seen from Miller Hogan. Now you look at the top home run hitters in this league. Nolan Gorman of Memphis leads the league with 10. He's getting tonight off. Then you have Burleson with 6. Yepes with 6. They're both tied for 2nd. 1-1 count. And a throw on the runner. Back standing is Nootbaar. I did chat with Ben Johnson, manager of Memphis, before the game, former Durham Bulls coach. He said, I got to try and keep Nolan Gorman fresh. He hasn't done anything to have me take him out of the lineup, but he was due a day off. He didn't want to give him a day off, but basically had to. Here's the 1-1 pitch. A bouncing ball pulled foul toward Gorman inside that dugout for Memphis. Strike 2. Brady Williams had no issue with it.
I don't think the Bulls staff would have any issue with it.
He said, you could have given him the first 4 days of this series off.
Rest his legs for the next series.
But Gorman would be available later in the game if Memphis needs him. Ball and 2 strikes on Yepes. 2 outs in the first. Nootbaar, the runner at first base, and here's the pitch from Miller Hogan. Waits on a breaking ball, spanks it to center field. Bolt going back, shy of the track with the sun in his eyes. Makes the catch, and the first inning is done as Yepes sails one of the deepest part of the D-BAP. No runs, no hits, a walk and 1 left. We are underway. Memphis nothing, Durham coming up. Bottom of the first inning, the Bulls will get a crack at Matthew Liberatore, one of the top left-handers in minor league baseball, and a former first-round draft choice of the Rays 4 years ago. Liberatore, the minor league pitcher of the year for St. Louis in 2021, was 9-9 over 18 starts with Memphis, and he opens up Vidal Brujan with a ball outside. Here's the lineup card signed by Brady Williams for the 8-13 Bulls. Brujan starts at third base tonight as Liberatore misses wide with a fastball. Isaac Paredes in the 2-hole at second base, then Jonathan Aranda at first. Ryan Bolt, no-brainer. Cleanup hitter tonight for the Bulls. Bolt in center field. And the 2-0 in the switch hitting Brujan, a called strike. Ford Proctor bats fifth. He'll do the catching. Miles Masterboni in left. Then it's Ruben Cardenas, the 7-hitter in right. David Rodriguez, the DH, and then the shortstop is Jim Haley. Brujan takes off speed downstairs, ball 3. 3-hit game for Brujan for the second straight contest last night. Takes a fastball above the knees on the outside part on a full count. Vidal now hitting .407 over his first 7 games. And the 3-2. Swung on, slapped the other way, late in the fastball, drives it foul. Now Liberatore will see a 4-seamer and a 2-seamer for him, both in the same range, right around 92. Curveball slider change. So far this season, thrown a few more off-speed pitches compared to 2021. And a high fastball puts Brujan on.
It's a good at bat by Brujan. He saw a number of tough pitches, but lays off, very disciplined in the strike zone. Speed aboard early for the Bulls.
So Brujan is aboard. That is only the 4th walk in 21-plus innings for Liberatore. 27 strikeouts. His strikeout numbers per 9 are up this year. His walks per 9 are down this year. Gave up right around a hit an inning last year. This year, 19 hits over 21-plus. And Paredes takes an off-speed pitch on the outside corner. Paredes, nothing of 3 last night. Bulls had 15 hits, most they've had in any game this year. Isak getting 271, 3 homers, 15 knocked in. Standing lead Brujan, not going. And Paredes takes high. There's 92 from Liberatore. But he is coming in off of clearly his best outing of the year and really one of his best ever at AAA. Saturday in a 7-inning shutout performance against Omaha. 2 hits, no walks, and fan 9. Here's the pitch, and Paredes got jammed, fouls it in the air, back behind Ali Sanchez, and no play. Through 91 pitches in that game against Omaha, earned his 2nd win. He's 2-2 with a 4.22. Brujan, the runner at first base. Nobody out in the bottom of the first. And the pitch from Liberatore, breaking pitch up in the zone, knocked back against the screen foul. Well, there's a lot of confidence up and down this lineup for Brady Williams Bulls based on what happened last night. And even the day before, the Bulls put some runs on the board, got beaten 9-6 on Wednesday, but had 13 hits. Swinging it well over the last week or so. Brujan runs, the throw goes over. Yepez steps in, takes the throw, guns it to second base, and Brujan cut down. Mendoza, the shortstop, got the tag down on Vidal Brujan. He was guessing that Liberatore is going home. He guessed incorrectly, and Yepez stepped forward, took that throw from Liberatore, and made the easy peg down to second base.
Yeah, Brujan unsuccessful in his last 2 attempts. This one, he was just trying to go first move, and he does, and it was a quick move from Liberatore, and then it was just a matter of execution. I like what Brujan did, though. He tried to run into the throwing lane.
There's a roller out to shortstop on the next pitch, fielded by Mendoza. Throws out Paredes.
It's a routine out. But getting back to Brujan, he tried to run into the throwing lane of Yepez, made him throw it. A perfect throw, and it got him. But it's a way to kill a rally. 2 quick outs in the inning now, and nobody on for the next hitter.
There's Jonathan Aranda for the Bulls. Aranda back-to-back 3-hit games. He was 3 of 4 last night. Takes strike 1 from Liberatore. And Aranda coming into his own. Southern League MVP a year ago. Fastball, bottom of the zone, outside corner. Well-spotted pitch. 95 from Liberatore there. And that's about the max. 95, 96 occasionally. And the left-hander winds up, comes home on 0-2, and buries the outside corner, strike 3. A couple of pinpoint fastballs to end that at bat against Aranda. And that will do it for Durham in the first inning. No runs, no hits. Liberatore pitches around a leadoff walk. And after 1 inning, there's no score. Top two from Durham, 0-0. Bulls baseball brought to you by the Angus Barn, proudly serving the Durham area once again. They are the exclusive caterer for American Tobacco Campus Base 7 Catering Hall, as well as the official sponsor of the Hit Bull Win Steak promotion. 0-0 game, top of the second inning. Alec Burleson will lead it off against Miller Hogan. Impressive first innings from each of these two starters. Liberatore and Hogan each walked a man, but a couple of strikeouts for Hogan. One very impressive punch out by Liberatore of Aranda to close out that first inning. Burleson, left-handed hitter, very strong, power to all fields, and looks at a fastball, strike one from Miller Hogan. Burleson had last night off. 6 home runs over the course of this young campaign in 16 games, averaging .270. And the 0-1 breaking ball tapped away to the screen of the Bulls dugout. Defensively, the look behind Hogan. Masterboni starts in left field for the third time this year. Bolt is in center, and Cardenas again in right field. Brujan midway between third and second base. And the 2-2 is grounded up the middle, and that's beyond the reach of wherever Brujan was. And it rolls into center field, a base hit for Burleson.
Well, this is how you beat the shift. Hit the ball where they're not. This pitch on the outside part of the plate and hit through the left side of the infield. The Bulls were pulled over to pull. Leadoff hitter aboard for the Redbirds.
Here's the rest of the Bulls infield. They have Haley making his first start of this season at shortstop. Paredes at second base. Aranda at first. He will hold on Burleson. And Ford Proctor behind the plate tonight for Durham. Here's Ali Sanchez, 25-year-old catcher for Memphis. Back-to-back games behind the plate as Hogan fires over to first base. Sanchez hitting .242. Couple of runs batted in. One of those was last night. Right-handed hitter. Hogan out of the stretch. And the pitch is on the inner black, strike one. So before we get too far into this game, I just want to thank Durham Bulls fans and viewers and listeners last night for really coming through in the clutch. I'll explain why after this pitch. Bring you up to speed if you weren't with us last night. Hogan on 0-1. Breaking pitch, hit on a couple of hops in between, hop, bobbled and knocked down by Brujan. Only play is first, and he does get the out on the catcher running down the line. That's the big reason why Brujan was still able to get an out. Wasn't sure what a hop to attack on that bouncing ball his way. And he played the in-between hop instead, which took away any opportunity at either a double play or cutting down the lead runner.
Yeah, Brujan did get caught in between, and once he hit it off his body, he had to think about getting it to first, and as quickly as possible, he did just in time to get Sanchez. Bulls are lucky to get an out there. Runner in scoring position with one out for the Redbirds.
And that'll bring up Connor Capel. Starts in right field tonight for Memphis. Capel 226 with 6 steals and 3 home runs. And the pitch on the lefty is at his knees, strike one. But last night during the game, it's funny because you don't script things out as far as topics or where you think the broadcast is going to go. And the broadcast just kind of organically evolved into a conversation of breaking slumps, falling into slumps. And Scott brought up some stories from his time in the big leagues on some exact moments that occurred for him. And one of those was a comment about your spring training with the expansion Florida Marlins. And you and I talked about this, might not even have been last year, might have been a couple of years ago, but the fact that you always wanted to hear Vin Scully say your name on the radio on the Dodgers broadcast. And the only time that could have happened was when the Marlins were opening up their inaugural campaign in 1993, when the Dodgers were the opening day opponent of the Marlins. But the only footage you could find online was the TV broadcast. It wasn't right. Vin Scully's LA Dodger radio broadcast. And so we got on the topic last night. As Hogan checks second base. Here's the 2-1. And it's down and in right by the back foot of Connor Capel. And as we talked about it on the air, without even asking, several Bulls fans scoured the internet and found it. And it had just been uploaded with the radio audio from Vin Scully only a few months ago, so it wasn't out there for years and years, but it happened to be uploaded by who knows who. But a couple of Bulls fans actually found it for us and emailed us as Capel swings and misses. And one was James Atkins, who emailed the Bulls during the broadcast, and the other was a former teammate of yours.
Eric Bates. Yeah, we played together in Billings, and he came through in a big way. And I'm ecstatic that I finally got to hear it. I'm amazed, even though he was forced to have to say my name. He did it. He did say my name, and to hear Vince Scully.
This ball sailed out into right field. Cardenas battling his son, gets behind it, makes the catch. Burleson is tagging. Cardenas has a hose, but it's cut off, though, by Haley. I think that throw is going offline down the left field side toward third. Haley right in line with the bag, and if he sees that throw cutting away from the third baseman behind him, that's your job. And he does cut off the throw as Burleson takes third.
Cardenas has shown a great arm, and this was a good throw, but it was offline, and that's exactly what Haley did. He just cut it off. He didn't have a chance. Live to fight another day and get the out. Want to run the risk of that ball getting away and then that run scoring.
Yeah. All right, so here's Mendoza with a runner at third, 2 outs. Scoreless game, second inning. And the pitch on the way from Hogan is a strike on the outside corner.
But getting back to that, I was thrilled to hear it, but I'm just as more blown away by the response from fans to even find that. I'm deeply appreciative, and thank you all for doing so. It meant a lot to me, and it was a thrill.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, so thank you for participating in these broadcasts. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball, snaps a little bit down. And just so you know, we actually, when the game broadcast ended last night, as tired as you were, because you're on a 4 a.m. flight, or you've been working since 4 in the morning yesterday, you're so tired you didn't even want to watch the Packers' first-round draft choice in the NFL draft. We still stayed here post-game, post the entire broadcast, and listened to it for several minutes here in the booth last night.
I'm not going to wait to listen to that. Are you kidding me? That's Vince Scully.
Ball and 2 strikes on Mendoza. 271 hitter, couple of homers. Miller Hogan out of the stretch, runner at third, 2 outs. Here's the righty's pitch. And a very good fastball. Bottom of the zone, carries through. Mendoza takes 92 at the bottom of the kneecaps. And Miller Hogan through the second inning, pitches around a leadoff base hit. Middle of 2 from Durham, 0-0. Bulls half of the second inning, and here is last night's newest member to the 3 home run club. Ryan Bolt leads things off for Durham. Going left on left against Liberatore. Takes ball 1, and now Liberatore's pitch is swinging a fly ball. Center field hit well, not deep enough. DeLuzio tracks it down a step in front of the track. I am utterly disappointed in Ryan Bolt. He only hit that ball 389 feet. Take the rest of the night off.
Slacker.
Jeez. Early work tomorrow. Great to see. And there's a nice write-up by MILB after the game last night with Ryan Bolt. I'm sure he's getting plenty of grief down that Bulls dugout. But that was the first time in his life, not just his pro career, never at Nebraska, never in high school, never in Little League, never in Peanut League, never in his backyard, hit 3 home runs in a game. And watching his reaction after the third home run when he was rounding third base, just broke into a huge smile. It's almost like you can't help yourself. You're trying not to react, and just the kid in all of us took over. And the easiest decision in the lineup card for Brady Williams was batting him cleanup tonight, even with the lefty on the mound. Strike 2 on Proctor. And the pitch from Liberatore is swinging a miss. Gets him on 95, middle away. When there's some extra gas in that fastball this year from Liberatore compared to the 2 starts we saw him pitch against the Bulls last year.
And the lefty's starting to settle in. He's really painting that outside. We've seen the late life on that fastball, and he's gotten it by a number of Bulls hitters so far, but he's gaining some confidence and getting in that rhythm.
And that's what Ben Johnson told me before the game has been the big difference. He managed Liberatore last year at Memphis, has him again here this season. He said really it's just kind of his conviction behind the fastball. It's a little bit better this year. And I'm sure that has to do with reps, experience, but again, Liberatore's only 22 years old. He was pitching 21 as a AAA ace last year.
And that's at frame, too. There's more there if he wanted to throw hard.
Check swing, going too far, Masterboni.
But he's got a very repeatable, manageable motion so he can control that fastball. But if he wanted to, I'm sure he could throw 4 miles an hour harder.
Yeah, he's 6'4", and still the upper body could fill out a little bit more. Here comes the 0-2, and Masterboni late on the fastball, 96 that time, drives it out of play.
There's that trade-off of being a max thrower. You don't have the control that you need to be a good major league pitcher. And what he's doing is harnessing that, repeating that delivery, and he's been around the plate impressive so far.
Here's the 0-2, little hesitation there, and he burns the inside corner with a fastball. Takes care of Proctor and Masterboni to close out a very impressive second inning. Done with 2 from Durham. 0-0. Bulls fans, a reminder, for every strikeout the Bulls pitching staff records, Chiesi will make a donation of $10 to Activate Good. Top 3 open into a good one tonight. Miller Hogan, Matthew Liberatore. Former Rays lower level minor league teammates. Nothing game through 2. DeLuzio will start the 3rd for the Redbirds. 9-1-2. DeLuzio, 275, 4 home runs, product of the Florida State Seminole program. And Hogan ready. First pitch on the righty. DeLuzio takes 2 tall on the inside for ball 1. Really good crowd still filing in. Fireworks after the game. Ripken, the bat dog, is here tomorrow. Kids run the bases after Sunday's game. And tickets available for those next couple of games. Breaking pitch down, check swing. Appeal is rejected by Alex Tosi at first base. 2-0. 2-ball count. And the pitch on to Luzio. And that is on the inside edge with maybe with a little bit of assistance from Ford Proctor. Talked with Ford before the game yesterday about kind of where he feels he is making the transition to a catcher, which started in earnest last year at Double-A. Breaking ball fisted our way and about 13 rows in front of us. The trajectory was perfect though.
It was right up this way. I saw you reach out to snatch it,
yeah.
and you were going to take a bite out of the ball if it got up there.
See, that's the trouble. If you're playing center field and I'm in left, I'm going to collide with you every time because we're both watching the ball, and I'm not giving it. I'm not letting you quarterback as you should.
All right. Well, fly ball progression, you got it.
Swing and a miss as DeLuzio fans at a fastball. Yep. One of these years, Scott Pose, a foul ball will make this move.
It's bound to happen.
It will take some tricky geometry.
Good carry on that fastball from Miller Hogan that gets by DeLuzio. A good start to the inning.
And now Spangenberg. 4.5 years of big league service time for Corey. Left-handed hitter, hands high. First pitch, breaking ball, tickles the inside corner. Spangenberg, interesting background. Not only with his time in the big leagues, but even getting to the big leagues. He spent a year as a cadet at Virginia Military Institute. Swing and a miss. He then left after a year, transferred to Indian River Junior College, and then he was drafted in the first round. But that was an interesting year in his background.
I would say so.
You want to talk about full 24-hour commitments that you can't really dedicate all of your time to school and to baseball. Rolls went out to second base, and Paredes throws it out. There are 2 outs in the 3rd.
This appeared to be the slider that's been working very well for Hogan. Spangenberg hits it straight into the ground. We've seen play at second. You start talking about VMI, an incredible tradition, a great school, but like you said, there is a significant commitment there. But then when he lands at Indian River, that's a great junior college program.
Sure is.
A lot of good players coming out of there.
2 outs, none on. Here's Kramer Robertson. Hogan struck him out in the first inning. 3 infielders on the left side, the pull side, and a line drive to the shortstop hole, and just by the dive of Haley. Had it perfectly timed. He came up inches short. And a clean single lash to left by Robertson.
You're right, Patrick. That timing was perfect. I expected him to come up with it just based on how he got the jump in there, but just hooked out of the reach of his glove. Credit Robertson for hitting one on the nose. That ball was scalded.
Haley was looking back at the video board embedded in the Blue Monster. He wanted to see a replay and see just how close he was to snatching that one. It's Haley's first game this season playing shortstop, but he was the everyday shortstop for Penn State for several years up at State College. So here's Lars Newbar. Robertson at first base, 2 now, no score, 3rd inning. And off speed on the outside corner, in and out of the mitts of Ford Proctor. And back to Proctor for a second. He realizes the stiff challenge in front of him. But in no way did he ever indicate, either through words or gestures or facial reactions, that he wasn't really embracing this opportunity to learn how to catch. Pitch off the inside corner for ball. One count on Newbar. So Robertson, a line drive just beyond the reach of Haley. 5 steals for Robertson, not going. This ball is smoked foul just under the foot of the first base coach of the Memphis Redbirds. That is Brandon Allen.
If any player who's played professionally for any length of time and somebody comes up and asks you if you want to catch, regardless of the bumps and bruises, you're immediately saying yes. You know why?
Yes, easier path to the big leagues.
It's the quickest way to the big leagues. And you become marketable, even if you are a position player, to be the emergency guy.
This one's chopped into right field. Base hit for Newbar. Robertson makes the turn. He's on his way to third. Cardenas eases the throw to the infield. And it's a pair of 2-out singles by Robertson and Newbar in the Memphis.
This is what Memphis does. They continue that line, and they can put up a crooked number almost immediately. And with 2 outs in the inning, 2 quick base hits, middle of the order coming up, one swing, it could be a crooked number.
So Juan Yepez, tough customer here, first and third, 2 down. But yeah, you're exactly right on the path to the big leagues for a guy like Proctor, a guy like Brett Sullivan, guys who didn't necessarily catch at all in college, and Proctor didn't catch a single inning in college. I did talk with his college teammate Tristan Gray, who's getting tonight off for the Bulls. I said, did you ever forecast Ford Proctor, your middle infield mate at Rice, as a catcher? He said no, but he said Ford told me that his high school coach said, you're going to be a catcher down the road. Pitch upstairs, ball 1.
Well, I've heard stories, and one of my coaches growing up was Jamie Quirk, and he begged the Royals to send him to instructional league to learn to catch, and they let him. But because he did, he got at least 5 additional years in the major leagues because he was always that emergency backup guy, and he added that to his skill set.
Breaking ball for a strike from Hogan. 1-1 on Yepez. But he is putting in a ton of work hours before the gates open. Yepez calling time. He's fooled because the scoreboard count is wrong. He was asking the home plate umpire, it's not 2-2, right? It's 1-1. And that is the count. Scoreboard, though, shows 2-2. That's what had Yepez confused.
I'm fine with 2-2.
Hogan set. Long delay, now the 1-1. Swinging a foul. Out of play to the right. Strike 2.
That was a center cut fastball. Yepez fouled that one straight back. I think Hogan got away with one and gladly did so, but now he's up to the count 1 and 2. That brings that slider into play. That was a healthy cut.
That's a really healthy 2-2 swing right there.
Yes, it was.
Ball and 2 strikes now on Yepez. 2 outs, third inning. No score. And the runner at first breaks. The pitch from Hogan is bounced foul up against the screen of the Memphis dugout. So Newbar makes the U-turn, heads back. So now the catching duties with Rene Pinto in the big leagues for the first time in his career being split between Proctor and David Rodriguez. Ball and 2 strikes. Newbar runs again. Breaking ball high. Swing through by Yepez. And Miller Hogan strands a couple in the third inning. Back-to-back hits with 2 outs, but nothing else. After 2.5 innings from the D-BAP, Memphis nothing, Durham nothing. Redbirds lead the series 2-1. Scoreless game tonight. 0-0. Bottom of the third. And the Bulls will have the bottom third of the lineup. Cardenas, Rodriguez, and Haley do up against Matthew Liberatore. It's been quite impressive through the first couple of innings. And a good matchup against his former Tampa Bay Ray minor league teammate, Miller Hogan. Cardenas begins the third. Up and away, ball 1. 24 pitches through 2 for Liberatore. Cardenas 1 of 4 yesterday, scored a run. And a pitch on the right, a swing and a high pop-up, foul territory. That will get onto the roof. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ruben Cardenas. Cardenas off to a 2-12 start, 7 RBIs, 1 home run. Right-handed hitter. Feet close together, deep in the box, and the lefty Liberatore high and wide. Off speed, 2-1. Well, the Rays are underway tonight. They take on the Minnesota Twins. Homestand continues. Pitch up and away. Ball 3. The Rays will see one former Tampa Bay pitcher start tomorrow against them. That will be Chris Archer. Goes for the Twins. They will miss Joe Ryan, though. Joe Ryan will go on Monday in Baltimore for Minnesota. There's ball 4, down and away. Cardenas walks. Ryan was up with the Bulls last year. Went over to Tokyo, won a silver medal, came back, and had been dealt away to the Twins in the big Nelson Cruz deal. Joe Ryan, Drew Stroughton traded to the Twins. Kellen Fauché was also part of that deal, acquired by the Rays. He's now on this Durham Bulls pitching staff. But Joe Ryan, he is tearing it up so far this season for Minnesota. Snap throw on Cardenas, which really is no surprise.
No, not at all. He's got that factor where people don't really know him. They don't know his repertoire, so he's going to have some success first time through for sure, but he's got the stuff to stay for a long time.
Pitch from Liberatore, and Rodriguez takes a breaking pitch for a strike. Rodriguez was so confident that was going to be a strike that he just kind of took a 3-mile-an-hour half swing as that pitch landed in the mitt of Sanchez. If it was seen out of the zone, the home plate umpire could have called him for a swing. 0-1, big rip there at a fastball, strike 2. It'll be interesting what happens when Francisco Mejia comes off of the COVID-19 list for the Rays. Certainly Pinto is going to be very likely optioned back down here to the Bulls, but he's done a lot of really good things his first time up with Tampa Bay. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. High fastball, and Rodriguez down on strikes. That's 4 now for Liberatore.
We've seen Liberatore really power that fastball through. This one was up in the zone. Rodriguez swings right through it. But again, great life on this fastball from the talented lefty in the Cardinals organization.
1 out, 1 on. Here is Haley. And he'll swing at a first pitch, send it in the air. Mask is off of Sanchez. Looks down, looks up. He's by the screen and has it. Good work there by Ali Sanchez, who has not caught a lot of games in this ballpark. You know that spin is going to work its way back to the field. And he didn't panic. He was kind of waiting for that ball to come back to him.
What's described by Johnny Benson, aptly so. It's almost like the ball goes up one tube and then down another, because it almost does that loop-de-loop. But a nice job by Sanchez to get rid of that mask, set himself in position to make the play.
So 2 outs, runner at first. Now Vidal Brujan as Liberatore straight arms one over to first base. By the way, folks, Josh Lowe has just hit his first big league home run. 4-0 Tampa Bay, bottom of the first inning. So we saw Pinto hit his first big league home run a couple of days ago. Now Josh Lowe. Runner goes, and Brujan taps one foul. Dylan Bundy starting tonight for the Twins. And the home run by Lowe is a 3-run shot. So congrats to him. Cardenas at first, 2 outs. No score, third inning. Liberatore's pitch slips out of his hand, and a curveball is about 2 feet high. One and one on Brujan. And another throw on the runner Cardenas. So Josh Lowe connects for his first big league home run. We saw Ryan Bolt hit 3 last night, and I was trying to remember the last time a Bull hit 3 home runs in a game. I thought it was Austin Meadows. It actually was Josh's brother, Nate, in 2019. He had a 3 home run game. Pitch on Brujan is high.
I'm not at all surprised.
And Nate had some easy pop. I mean, he could flick a ball about 390 feet to right center.
And he had popped to left center, too.
Yeah.
As a left-handed hitter, he had fun playing pepper with the Blue Monster here.
Yep. 2-1. Cardenas at first, and Brujan takes strike 2. Yeah, Nate Lowe has been the only guy in my time here for the Bulls to call me Pat. I don't know why. He just did. And I think after a while he realized that I wasn't really fond of it, but he kept doing it. The 2-2. Runner goes. Bruhan fouls off the fastball. It's kind of our little thing.
Yeah, but one of the biggest mistakes you can make in the baseball world is to let people know that you don't like
very
something
true.
because it's going to stick.
Oh, yeah.
It would stick if that's the case.
Oh, he's like that too. Super dude. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Vidal Brujan. Cardenas at first, a leadoff walk. A strikeout and a foul out have followed. And Liberatore, a couple of looks at first. Home on Brujan. Misses with a curveball. Snap throw to first base. Oh, Cardenas just got in. A back pick by Sanchez with no left-handed hitter in the batter's box. Wide open path to make that throw.
That was quick. Nice job by Sanchez on the snap throw.
Did you ever get caught in a play like that?
I can't say that I got caught there. No.
Cardenas will run 3-2. There he goes, and the pitch on Brujan is a little bit down. And it's a walk to Brujan. Another terrific long at bat for the second time in a row. He went 7 pitches in a first inning walk, 7 more pitches in a third inning walk.
Liberatore thought he had Brujan struck out, but home plate umpire Tom West says no, that pitch is down. That puts a runner into scoring position for the Bulls. Can the Bulls get that 2-out base hit? Is the question.
Well, they scored 6 2-out runs last night, 6 of their 8. And a chance now with Paredes. A routine ground ball to Mendoza at short, his only time up. And a curveball snaps hard on the inside corner. Oh, what confidence this would give the Bulls if they can jump on top of Liberatore here in the early innings. At the belt, lefty's pitch. Fastball away. Pick throw to second base. Now they have Cardenas trapped. Tries to slam the brakes and head to third, but Robertson easily tracks him down. Sanchez just missed picking off Cardenas at first base on a back pick by maybe a foot. And here he goes the long way from the plate to second base on the secondary lead of Cardenas. Robertson sneaks in behind him and cut him off before he could get in the bag. And the Bulls lose a great opportunity. 4th inning from Durham, 0-0 score. Bulls in Memphis. The Bulls squandering a 2-out crack in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and against one of the top pitchers in minor league baseball, you can't let Liberatore off the hook like that. A couple of walks in the inning, but for the 2nd straight game, the Bulls lose a base runner on a back pick at second base. Happened to Paredes last night, happens to Cardenas here tonight. And you know you're not going to get many chances to score against Liberatore and let him off the hook. 4th begins with Burleson, strike 1 called. And the 0-1 for Miller Hogan, good curveball. 69 miles an hour, and Burleson a week ahead of it, strike 2.
That's great differential, meaning the breaking ball is much different than the fastball, and you're giving a completely different look to the hitter, and it completely baffles Burleson.
0-2 on the lefty, here it comes. Up and away with a fastball. Game's only 3 hits belong to Memphis. They all are singles. 2 of them came in succession in the 3rd inning, but then Miller Hogan struck out Juan Yepes. 2 strikes in the ball. Here's the pitch. And that's a tricky little off-speed pitch. That had some nasty movement to the arm side, and Alec Burleson strikes out. One away in the 4th inning. 6 strikeouts now by Miller Hogan. So here is Ali Sanchez, and we've come to adore the arm strength and the aggressive nature with which he throws from behind the plate these last couple of days. And the catcher stands in the box, and he tomahawks one to deep left center field. Masterboni back to the warning track, looking up, and it's gone. Sanchez with his first home run of the season. It's the 10th of the series for Memphis, and the Redbirds have a 4th inning lead on Durham, 1-0.
Well, not only does he have a cannon, he demonstrates his power here as he got a fastball up in the zone. Puts Memphis up a run. It was a no-doubter.
That pitch was up from Miller Hogan. I mean, that was letter high and a little bit in, and he stomped on it to left center field. 1-0 Redbirds, 4th inning. And Hogan back to work. Curveball outside, 1-0 on Connor Capel. Well, as they say, it was going to take the Bulls to score 1 run to win this game anyway. So down just 1 here in the 4th inning. Capel takes low. Hogan grabs the sign for Proctor. And the 2-0. Rounded away foul. Off speed on a 2-0 count against Capel. Haley joins Paredes and Aranda on the right side of the infield, and Durham about to get the bullpen going behind Miller Hogan. Falling behind Capel now 3-1. So a left-hander starts to throw for Durham. Looks like Zach Irwin. And the 3-1. Off speed, popped up foul, no play. Well, the Rays will evaluate over the next couple of days on where and when Ryan Yarborough's next appearance will be. Will he be back with the Tampa Bay Rays? Or will he make one more rehab start perhaps with the Bulls up in Buffalo? That's when he would be scheduled to go next, when the Bulls are on the road next week. There's the 3-2, swinging a foul. Talked with Eric Neander after the game last night and Brady Williams, and he said, improved. Don't know if he's quite ready to get back to the big leagues and help us. But Yarborough went into Brady Williams' office, shook his hand, shook Eric's hand, said goodbye to me on the way out. And he will head, and he's back now in St. Pete. He'll work on the side there before the decision is made. 3-2, spoiled out of play again by Capel. Slider was better last night for Yarborough. Cutter still probably has a little bit of work to do. 3-2 from Hogan. A swing, a high fly ball, right field. Cardenas kind of softly drifting back in front of the warning track, and he has it. Out number 2 as Capel lifts one to fairly deep right field. 1-0 lead for Memphis on the home run by Ali Sanchez. And now we will see shortstop Evan Mendoza. Right-handed hitting shortstop for Memphis. And Hogan's first pitch. Curveball inside around the corner. Well, Mendoza played on some very good Elliott Avon NC State teams a few years ago. Still has the 3rd longest hitting streak in NC State history. 23 in a row. Takes ball 2 down. That is 3 shy of the all-time Wolfpack record. Do you remember what your longest hitting streak was in the minors?
It was an A-ball. It was in Charleston at the time. It was like 14 or 15 games. Okay.
Here's the 2-0 in the dirt. Did Nate Minchie end that streak as well?
No, Nate. I didn't run up against Nate until AAA, and it was that opening day that we discussed. And
he's going to be my answer to all the end of your streaks.
Yeah, that's great.
3-ball count, and that's wide. A 4-pitch walk puts Mendoza on. That's number 2 from Hogan, so we go along with 6 strikeouts. And Brian Reith is going to come around the end of the Bulls dugout and climb the steps and go pay a visit to allow Irwin a chance to get further ready in the bullpen for Durham. 1-0 Memphis leads 4th inning.
Hogan at 68 pitches. Seems to be losing a little bit of that rhythm. Hence the visit.
So while we have a chance, I didn't ask you earlier in the broadcast when we were talking about Vin Scully and the inaugural game for the Florida Marlins back in '93, where you were the leadoff hitter, first ever batter for the Marlins. Eric Bates, a former teammate of yours who emailed during the game about getting that audio, was he watching the game last night? How did he come across the need?
I think he was listening on MILB.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Are you tight with him? Still?
I am now.
Hey, just goes to show you never know who's out there listening. Runner goes, pitch is fouled off a fastball.
No, actually, I hadn't seen Eric since we played together in
Really?
1989.
Wow.
I mean, and that's the way baseball is.
Yeah.
I mean, you play. I mean, we were all playing together in that rookie league. We all go to spring training, and then when cuts start to happen, they pull people off the field. They're on a plane that day. You don't get to say goodbye, and so you don't know what happens.
It's harsh.
It's the way life is in baseball, and everybody understands it.
Runner goes, pitch on DeLuzio, hit on the ground to short, charging and scooping is Haley, and the throw will get DeLuzio at first base, and that will close the fourth inning. First run of the game on a home run by Ali Sanchez. So a 1-0 lead for Liberatore after 3.5. If you want to learn how new medications, biological agents, and vaccines are developed and assessed for their effectiveness and safety, enroll in the clinical research program at Campbell University. It's taught by expert faculty. We offer a bachelor's degree and a 100% online master's degree. Check out the details. Visit campbell.edu and search clinical research. Memphis 1, Bulls nothing, bottom 4. And the 2, 3, and 4 hitters facing Liberatore. It starts with Isaac Paredes. And he is up in the count on Liberatore, 2 balls, nothing. Home run by the Memphis catcher, Ali Sanchez, for the game's only run. Here's the pitch. And Paredes takes a breaking ball for strike 1. And Paredes was in the batter's box last inning with a couple of men on. But Sanchez, after receiving a pitch, fired down to second base and caught Cardenas before he could get back in the bag. Foul pop up toward the Durham dugout. Here comes Sanchez. Top step, and the ball catches the screen on the way down. Everybody had scattered. He was kind of charged over to the area where Brady Williams generally stands. And he wasn't going to get any help. He got to the very edge of the top of the step. Ran out of room.
Surprised he didn't catch. He's done everything else.
Yep. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Straightaway outfield on Paredes, not overly deep. And Liberatore winds up, here it comes, and a curveball just cued away foul. Well, we saw Liberatore twice against the Bulls last year, and again, I didn't travel with the team last season, so I missed that first start back in early May. 2-2 break ball, smoke through the shortstop hole, base hit for Paredes. A pitch that was cutting in toward the hands, got the barrel to it, and just drilled it into the left field.
Paredes breaks up the no-no here in the fourth, as that's the first Bulls base hit, but he did a good job of pulling his hands inside. A pitch was running in on him. He hammers it through the left side, and the leadoff hitter aboard through the middle of this Durham order. Good job and a good quick bat by Paredes to get to that ball, and he's rewarded with a base hit.
So the tying run on, here is Aranda. It's a low fastball. Well, this is clearly the best of the 3 outings that Liberatore has made against his former organization. It is never easy. First time you face the organization that dealt you away. There's a ground ball to second, fielded by Robertson, flipped to Mendoza for 1, and the relay easily gets around it. 4-6-3. Keyed by Robertson. The ball hit maybe a step and a half to his right. Put it back, handed the ball, but kind of made a little shuffle step to get on the forehand side.
I'll say it was tailor-made because that gave Robertson the ability to get his momentum going to second. An easy flip. Mendoza's got such a quick turn. This was a no-doubter and a tough break for the Bulls.
2 outs, none on. Now Ryan Bolt flied out to fairly deep center his first time up, and takes outside from Liberatore. Yeah, Mendoza's been really impressive defensively in this series. To his right, to his left, with his arm strength. And right there on the pivot. Bolt gets jammed here, pop up left side of the infield. It's low, and coming in scrambling is Spangenberg, and he will make the catch right on the tip of the grass. And facing the minimum in the 4th inning, It is Matthew Liberatore. Does surrender his first hit of the game, and a double play wipes Paredes off the bases. After 4 innings, Memphis leads Durham 1-0. Top of the 5th, Memphis on top of the Bulls by 1-0 score. Bulls baseball is brought to you in part by Emerge Ortho, team physicians for the Bulls since 1980. You can reserve your urgent care spot online right now, emergeortho.com. They can help you emerge stronger, healthier, and better. 6'5" lefty Zach Irwin replaces Miller Hogan tonight. Hogan gives the Bulls 4 innings and 70 pitches, threw very well. 4 hits, couple of walks, fanned 6, and only allowed the home run to Sanchez in the 4th inning. 1-0 Memphis, top 5. It's now Irwin, the former Clemson Tiger. Reliever his first couple of years down in Clemson, started his junior year. And he will face the top of the order in the 5th. He'll get a couple of lefties, Spangenberg and then Newtbar, who will bat 3rd in this inning. Spangenberg 0 for 2. Takes a strike at the knees on the outside corner. Well, Spangenberg back in the States playing. Again, he broke into the big leagues up and down with the Padres for 4 years, played 129 games in 2017 with San Diego. Swings and misses a breaking ball in. And then a little bit of time in Milwaukee in 19. Then he went overseas to Japan, played for the Seibu Lions for a couple of years. Made a fair amount of money there, came back, and parlayed that now into a minor league deal here with St. Louis, trying to get back. He's 31. And he cuts through a breaking ball away, and Irwin strikes out Spangenberg to begin the 5th.
Well, Spangenberg's got one of those launch angle swings, meaning it's a pronounced uppercut, and you've got to be very fine because that's at contact point where the bat's not in the zone that long, and a breaking ball down, tough to deal with.
And so a good start for Irwin. Now it's Kramer Robertson. He has one of the 4 Memphis hits in the game. Irwin, a long left-hander, stands 6'5", and a foul straight down off of the foots of Robertson. That hurt to watch.
Yeah, he's going to need a new bat. That chewed that one up.
I'd rather break my bat than break my ankle.
He did both.
One of the two is going to be broken on that kind of play.
Broken bats and the ball off the foot.
So here are the numbers on Irwin. He's opened a couple of games for the Bulls. This is his 5th out of the pen. 0-2, earned run average of 9. 11 earned over 11 innings of work. Striking out 9, walking 7. He was born in Illinois, grew up in Duluth, Georgia, and came out of Duluth High School, which produced a couple of pretty familiar Atlanta Braves names. Nick Green, Brian McCann. Here's the 0-1, and it's outside of the knees. Drafted originally by the White Sox, was then traded to Oakland and then picked up by the Rays as a free agent in January. Here's the pitch on the way to Robertson, down and in and off of the mid of Proctor. 2-1. 1-0 Memphis, top of the 5th. Irwin drops the glove below the belt. And home on 2-1. Missing in and low. Ball 3 to Robertson. We've been talking a lot about this really since last year when we saw Robertson at this level for the first time. But he's the son of Kim Mulkey Robertson, the national championship women's basketball coach, formerly at Baylor, now at Kramer's school, LSU. There's ball 4 to Robertson. And they are each other's biggest advocates. And back in his time when he played at LSU, he said sometimes my mom would have some time off and come watch me play, and she'd be yelling and screaming from the stands and yelling at the umpires just like she would do on the sidelines. And Kramer would do the same thing at a Baylor Bear and now LSU women's basketball game.
I've seen footage of her getting into it as a fan and a mom, and she was very demonstrative in doing so. And I have a sneaking suspicion that Kramer never talked back to his mom at home. Just saying.
Check swing strike on the outside corner on Newtbar. I mean, for all the tremendous success that she had at Baylor, she engineered one of the biggest Power 5 turnarounds of a women's program this past year at LSU, and that's exactly why they hired her. Throwing the runner, and Kramer dives back in with his right hand. And that's a tough league. Women's basketball in the SEC.
Sure is. South Carolina,
South
very
Carolina.
good.
I mean, Tennessee had a resurgent campaign under Kelly Harper, but
A little bit of a tradition there.
yeah, a little bit. 0-1 count on Newbar. And the pitch. Tried the inside corner and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, for years it was Tennessee and Louisiana Tech in the finals,
right.
it seemed.
And that is where his mom played, if my memory serves me right. I think she played at Louisiana Tech. Robertson at first base, and the pitch on Newbar just does bump the outside corner. Strike 2. 1-0 Memphis leads 5th inning. Haley shading Newbar up the middle, still slightly on the shortstop side. Here's the pitch. Half swing and a hard slider down in the dirt and chased. Good block by Proctor, holds Robertson at first base. And the second strikeout of this 5th inning for Irwin.
Very good breaking ball from Irwin. This started in the middle of the plate, but then breaks down and away in the dirt. But Newbar committed, could not hold out. Second out of the inning.
And now here is Juan Yepes. 0-2. Back at first base tonight for Memphis. He's played a little bit of third this year. And Yepes takes high, a little wide, snatched by Proctor, moving his body to his right. Well, there's a glut of big league ready offensive talent on this Memphis team for St. Louis. It's now a matter of finding room whenever they deem them to be ready. Here's the 1-0. Inside out fly ball to right. Coming in Cardenas. Couple of steps left. Makes the catch. Yepes retired. And Irwin hangs a 0 in the top of the 5th inning. Walks 1 and strands Robertson at first base. 1-0 Memphis after 4.5. Bulls down a run. Last of the 5th inning. Matthew Liberatore has been very solid tonight for the Redbirds. Faced 1 over the minimum through 4 innings. And the opening pitch on Ford Proctor is low, ball 1. The Bulls have had, though, 4 base runners, 3 walks, and a single by Paredes. But the Bulls have lost 3 of those 4 base runners on the base pass somehow, some way. Ground ball to second base, right at Robertson, and Proctor thrown out by a couple of steps. Brujan walked to begin the first inning. Broke for second base. Liberatore threw behind him, and they cut him down at second base. Then Cardenas walked in the 3rd. Another walk later in the inning put him at second base as Brujan reached, but then Cardenas was back-picked and picked off a second base to end the inning. And then last inning, Paredes the base hit, but then the double play ball from Aranda. Fastball strike 1 on Mastroboni. Liberatore in the low 50s with his pitch count through 4 innings. Swinging a chopper off the plate, bounces near the second base bag. Mendoza roams to field and throws out Mastroboni. But Mendoza, one of those shortstops that when you watch play defensively over a series of days, he's got that internal clock, right?
Yep.
On how much time he can take before he delivers a throw to ensure that he still gets the out.
That's baseball instincts, and he gets the ball there just in time. Never expends more energy than he has to, but he's efficient and great footwork and quick hands.
2 outs. Ball 1 wide on Cardenas. Kick from Liberatore. And too high. Ball 2. A changeup there. Well, he's only had 1 perfect inning tonight, despite that's an anomaly in baseball. 1 perfect inning through the first 4, but he's 1 over the minimum. That's hard to do. Here's the 2-0. And that cuts through the outside corner. 2-1.
The pitch count very manageable right now for Liberatore. He's only at 59. This will be his 60th pitch, but this deep in the ball game, that's some efficiency.
Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Yeah, that's bad news for the Bulls because he went 91 in his last game through 7 scoreless. He's almost 5 scoreless and around 60 here tonight, which means we could see him in and through the 7th, maybe a bat or two in the 8th if this pace continues. And it does right there. 95, middle in, and a swing through by Cardenas. And the 5th strikeout by Liberatore, and he's getting stronger as this game moves forward. And a 1-0 lead for Memphis through 5 innings in Durham. Bulls and Redbirds to the 6th inning. 1-0 Memphis leading. Zach Irwin on for his 2nd frame behind Miller Hogan, who worked 4 very good innings tonight for Durham. But so far, not a lot happening against Matthew Liberatore. So Irwin trying to keep this a 1-run game. Burleson will start the 6th inning. There's one of the 4 Memphis hits. And Irwin's opening pitch, a little bit up. A near offer by Burleson, but he held back. Rays have a 3rd inning lead on the Twins, 5-0. Josh Lowe's first big league home run, 418 feet to center field. This one is knocked out of play to the left.
It doesn't sound like a fence scraper.
No, that sounds like the acorn not dropping far from the tree of his brother, Nate Lowe. We saw a lot of easy pop from Nate, a lot of easy pop from Josh. 1 ball and 1 strike on Burleson. And the pitch. Breaking ball missed at the knees. Crowd has a bit of a buzz and a little life to them tonight.
They certainly do. Friday night fireworks.
Yeah.
Is everybody excited?
It's a 1-0 game. You finally feel, you almost feel like you've just been welcomed into the pace of play 2-hour and 20-minute game club, the way this game is going on. The Bulls, we've been left waiting for a dance partner against the wall for the last couple of weeks. Swing and a miss. And down goes Burleson. The place where the kids in Pontiac, Illinois hung out, when we were 11, 12, 13 years old, it was the roller rink.
Okay.
It was Indian Skate Land. You had the pool table, the ice hockey, the pinball area where all the guys would kind of hang out who knew the girls didn't want to choose them to do the skating dance.
Right.
But if you did, you were out there against the railing. If you didn't get chosen, that was it. Back to Evel Knievel pinball machine. Strike 1 inside corner against Ali Sanchez. But yes, the Bulls might finally have a pace of play dance partner in the 4th game of this series. Pitch from Irwin, broken back comebacker. Irwin fields on the backhand, runs toward first. Easy underhand toss. 2 outs in the 6th inning.
Been very impressed with Irwin in this outing. There have not been a lot of comfortable swings against him. His stuff is looking pretty good. This is another example. Sanchez hit one a mile last time up, but this one off the end of the bat, easy 1 hopper. Routine play for Irwin at first.
Now it's Connor Capel. It's gone out to right field twice. 2 quick outs, 6th inning for Irwin. 1-0 Memphis. Irwin fires that first pitch into the dirt. Bulls are TBD tomorrow. Brady Williams said they'll just kind of patch things together based on pitchers' availability. Johan Oviedo is scheduled to start for Memphis. 6:35 again tomorrow. And the pitch from Irwin gathers the outside corner. Ball and a strike. Irwin ready, brings it home, and steals one just wide. Two and one on Capel. Here's the pitch. Bouncing ball to the glove, but missed though by Irwin. Still gets out to Haley, who bails him out. Irwin had another 1 hopper his way, but it's kind of missing. The ball went right below his glove, but Haley's position here was there. It's a 1-2-3-60. 1-0 Memphis after 5 innings. First pitch of the inning has been made, and a little blue single by David Rodriguez out in the right center. That's how the sixth inning goes. That's the first time because of a pace of play, the aggressive nature now of the game. After a 90-second break, we've missed a pitch and missed a result.
But a good result for the Bulls. Rodriguez dumps this in the right center. Leads off the Bulls. The Bulls looking to manufacture a run.
Here's Haley. Full ball. In for strike one.
For the first time, we've seen some activity. Activity in the Memphis bullpen.
A couple of guys stretching their shoulders and arms down there. Bulls get Joe Piguero starting to throw behind Irwin in the Durham pen. And Haley gets jammed, fouls off a fastball, strike two. 61 through 5 for Liberatore. And you go back to that 2018 draft. I mean, some very good players came out of that draft. Liberatore was number 16 overall. Two-strike pitch, a little bit high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Casey Mize of Detroit was the number 1 overall pick. Logan Gilbert was 2 picks in front of Liberatore. He's now the ace of the Seattle staff in his second big league year. Swing and a miss. Fastball up and in, and a Haley shot down. That's number 6 by Liberatore. So productive out for Liberatore. Rodriguez remains at first base as the tying run.
Liberatore looks to be getting stronger. I mean, there's life on that fastball that is here late. I mean, late in the game. His pitch count is very manageable, but he has got good stuff.
Well, third time through the order now. Brujan chops one to the backhand. Mendoza runs it down, flicks it to Robertson for 1. The relay will never get Brujan. But again, credit to Mendoza. Not an easy play. Had to chase that ball down about 15 feet to his right and get enough on that throw.
Get the first out. That's what they tell you when you're on the infield. And then if you get that second one, it's a bonus. But Mendoza, getting to that overspin, was to his backhand side. A good flip to Robertson. Memphis exchanges that lead runner, but speed aboard with 2 outs for the Bulls. I expect Brujan to be pretty aggressive.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, you've had almost no opportunities to score against Liberatore. You have 2 outs, snap throw to first base. Brujan back in standing, close play.
And Liberatore has already picked off Brujan once,
yeah.
And so you figure, well, that can't happen again, can it?
But I think right now the odds of the Bulls stringing back-to-back hits together to get Brujan in are slim, or else it would take an extra base hit from Paredes. Strike 1 on the Bulls' second baseman. But then what you risk is, we know Sanchez has a strong arm. We know Liberatore is a good pick move. If you lose Brujan, you don't do anything with the pitch count trying to jam it up against Liberatore and get him out of the game. There's the 0-1 outside.
And for a lefty, he's very quick to the plate. That makes it a tough base to steal because majority of the time you're stealing off the pitcher anyway.
Yeah, you got the clock on him. Was he 1-1?
I can tell you he's a 1-1 right now. I'll put it on him. We'll confirm it.
1-1 is swinging a high pop-up right over home plate. Sanchez stands in the plate, moves further foul, and does make the catch. You had 3 teammates coming in to help. So put the clock away. Paredes fouls out, and Liberatore easily through the 6th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. 1-0 Memphis through 6 in Durham. Well, started at 69 degrees, now 62 as this game races to the 7th inning. Memphis holding a 1-0 lead on Durham. Game's only run was the homer by Sanchez in the 4th inning. That was hit against Miller Hogan. Irwin threw a scoreless 5th and 6th, faced just 1 over the minimum, struck out 3, walked 1. And now Joel Piguero comes in for Durham. Piguero will turn 25 years of age next week. And Piguero on for the 9th time. And the home plate umpire leaves the spot. Tom West steps in front of the catcher, Ford Proctor. Was there a violation there?
No.
I didn't see a signal.
Piguero was ready to go, but the music hadn't stopped.
Oh, there we go.
So we were waiting on that, and now
Okay.
Piguero is going to reload and go.
Blame Kelly Clarkson. Pitch up and in. 1-0. I'm hip. Mendoza leads off the 7th. Now Piguero, one of the livest arms out of this Durham pen. He'll be in the 95 to 98 range. But will he be able to command? There's a breaking ball, close pitch. Boy, it looked like it was on the inside corner. Called a ball. Piguero, 563 over his 8 games. He struck out 8, walked 8 in his 8 innings of work. Here's the 2-0. Swung on and a line drive hooked down toward the left field wall. This is climbing the wall and gets over. Evan Mendoza just clearing the yellow line down the left field line over the monster. That's his second of the series, and it's a 2-0 Memphis lead in the 7th.
Mendoza jumps on a fastball. Took a close breaking ball, but then was ready for the heat, got the barrel out, and it's a line drive with overspin over the Blue Monster. Short, compact swing, quick bat through the zone. When a guy throws as hard as Peguero, if you get the barrel on it, that ball's going to go. This one does.
It's his 3rd of the year, 2nd of the series. The lead is now 2 for Memphis. And here's Ben DeLuzio, who had a 2-row home run game back on Tuesday, and he taps one foul, got a piece of Proctor. And that was a 2-0 fastball from Peguero. Just anywhere in the zone trying to locate, and Mendoza clobbered it.
Well, it's a great example of no matter how hard you throw, if you fall behind, that can be trouble.
No action, meanwhile, behind Liberator. 70 pitches through 6 innings. Ball and a strike now against Ben DeLuzio. Pitch from Peguero, strike called. Now DeLuzio, a guy who was drafted very highly out of high school, 3rd-round pick out of a high school in Orlando, but did not sign. Drafted by the Marlins. He wanted to go play at Florida State and did, and then was undrafted and signed as a free agent to get into pro ball. Swing and a miss, and DeLuzio down on strikes. 10th combined by Bulls pitchers in the game.
Now that's unusual. I don't think that would happen that often. Normally you'll see a kid, and the normal progression is drafted in the 34th round or whatever it may be, then they go on to college and then work themselves into the top 10 as a slider from Peguero. Gets DeLuzio.
Yeah, there was a story I didn't have a chance to get into involving Patrick Dorian, first baseman of the Norfolk Tides, which is even more unusual. Strike taken. He was drafted initially out of high school by, I believe, Atlanta. Signed his contract, went to minicamp, and then basically had a change of heart at that stage and said, I don't really feel like playing. And was allowed to leave his contract. Went to a junior college, then he went to Lynn, a Division II school, played for a couple of years, and then a few years later signs with a different team as a free agent, and then now is up at AAA with Baltimore.
How about that?
Yeah. Pitch downstairs. The article that I read, he just said he didn't feel mature enough to be able to handle playing professional baseball as an 18-year-old, and had a change of heart right after he signed the contract.
Not many are. I mean, there's an eye-opener. I mean, I thought I would have gone in a heartbeat out of high school if somebody would have taken a chance on me. But nobody was that crazy. But when I got there later, as a more mature person, it was hard enough then. I can only imagine what it's like for an 18-year-old.
2-2 on Spangenberg. And Peguero misses low, full count. And, credit to all sides right there for Dorian for recognizing it, not wanting to put himself, mentally or physically in a difficult spot. And credit to the organization that signed him and had him contractually bound to play and allowed him to kind of move on and go to college and grow as an individual. There's ball 4 on Spangenberg. There would be some organizations, if they could, they'd throw you on the restricted list and say, if you're coming back in a year, in 3 years, in 6 months, whenever it is, you're still our property. But that was not the case for Patrick Dorian.
That check swing, not enough to call Spangenberg on the swing, so he's down to first with the walk with 1 out.
And now it's Kramer Robertson for the 4th time. Single and a walk plus a strikeout tonight. 2-0 Memphis. Peguero's pitch is over but low, ball 1.
That may be a strike if Proctor's able to hang on to it.
So Proctor hangs the sign for Peguero. Spangenberg, good lead at first base, not going, and a slider outside from Peguero.
That's really interesting. Have you seen the robo-ump games yet?
Not yet.
Charlotte's a site for that.
Heard about them.
Yeah.
That's Charlotte is the only spot in our league with the automatic ball strike umpire. 2-0 pitch is a little bit low, ball 3. And the Bulls don't go to Charlotte. I mean, felt like we played Charlotte on the road and at home about every other week last year. The Bulls don't go to Charlotte until late June.
That's unusual.
And then again, August as the calendar overlaps to early September. Here's the 3-0, and that's at the knees. But I've heard from some scouts and some players who have played games there with the automatic ball strike umpire. We even heard from, I think it was Matt Winters, who saw a couple of games out there and said the communication from the machine to the umpire is very, very quick. It's actually fairly seamless. And there's ball 4, low on Robertson. So back-to-back walks with 1 out in the 7th inning. 2-0 Memphis leads. And Brian Reith is going to pay a visit to Peguero. But there's nobody to really argue with.
No.
Right? And it was interesting when we asked some of the people who have seen those games and kind of just observed how it goes, what are the parameters, right? I mean, one thing that I hadn't really thought through was, well, what happens when a Cal Stevenson bats versus when a Jonathan Aranda or somebody 6'4", 6'5" in the batter's box versus maybe a 5'9", 5'10" hitter size-wise. And it was interesting that we heard the answer during dinner before yesterday's game.
Yeah, automatically calibrates.
Yeah. And kind of adjust by the at-bat. So even if you're Pete Rose and it in one at-bat and then kind of more straight up, it adjusts.
Right.
So there's no way to really trick the system. But I thought, frankly, that we would hear more complaints about that system, but we really haven't, at least so far.
Well, what got me thinking about it, though, was presentation doesn't matter. It's where the ball crosses.
Yeah. And here we go, back to where Peguero dumps his slider a little bit low on Nootbaar. Yeah, so you're right. Like on that previous pitch that Proctor dropped early in that at-bat against Robertson, that might be called a strike regardless.
That's right.
It could go to the backstop if you completely whiff on it. If it's in the zone, the buzzer goes off for the home plate umpire. This one smoked at first, picked up by Arana, spins, throws to Haley for one. Peguero recovering first base on the bag. Beautiful double play on all ends. That ball blistered to Aranda on a tiny hop. Long, perfect throw to Haley covering, and Peguero off of the mound to cover at first base. Took the throw from Haley, located the base, and gets himself out of a big jam. Home run by Mendoza. That is it. Middle of 7, 2-0 Memphis. Bulls down a couple of runs. Bottom of the 7th inning, 2-0 Memphis. But a nifty 3-6-1 double play gets Peguero through the 7th inning with minimal damage. We'll see if that spurs the Bulls' offense. Matthew Liberatore still in for the Redbirds. 70 pitches through 6 innings, and he has gotten stronger and tougher as this game has elapsed. Curveball, weak swing, and a ground ball foul to the back end of the Durham dugout.
It's really the first slow breaker that we've seen from Liberatore. He's been going with the power stuff, that slider, maybe a change with the cutter, and he has not had to go off the fastball too much because he's been locating it so well.
Arana 0-2. Here's the pitch. Letter high fastball. Very nice defensive play by Arana. That ball was just crushed right at his feet by Nootbaar.
Tremendous play to get that on the short hop, but the quick turnaround in the feed, a good double play for the Bulls.
And he strikes out on a high fastball. That's number 7 from Liberatore. Gets Arana for the second time. And here comes Ryan Bolt, 0 for 2 tonight. Popped out and fly to deep center field. Now the longest outing this year by Liberatore by innings is 7, so he's 2 outs away from matching that. That was in his last start on Saturday against Omaha. He did it in 91 pitches. And he's trying to go 7 scoreless and maybe 80-ish here tonight. And that will create an interesting decision for Ben Johnson. You want to have Liberatore get up for one more inning, at least start the bottom of the 8th, where he could be facing a left-hander to lead off the frame. Foul pop out of play by Bolt. Second level seats down the left side. 1-2. I mean, really the question is how far do they need to get Liberatore stretched out? Is 90 plus the range? Is it get into 100? Here's the 1-2. A little bit high. Now the the ETA for Liberatore to the big leagues in most eyes is at some point later on this summer. He's not going to be a a Nolan Gorman kind of guy where maybe when the Super 2-time runs out that he's the guy. Spinning is Mendoza on a ground ball up the middle and throws out Bolt. He's at it again. He has probably saved 5 infield hits across this series at shortstop in a variety of moves with his feet.
Oh, great range as his ball was hit up the middle, and then Mendoza had his momentum carrying him. He spins, and then just a quick flip, knowing the timing, and he knew he had to really be quick to get Bolt, but a tremendous play by the Redbird shortstop.
2 outs and strike 1 on Ford Proctor. CB said we'll take one more look at this one. He started on the shortstop side of the bag, reached down about 5 steps on the other side of the bag, pivoted his body 270 degrees and located the bag like it was no big deal.
Piece of cake.
1-1 from Liberatore. Proctor swings away and shoots one through the left side. It's a base hit. Burleson over, tries to cut off, fumbles a bit. Proctor 1 second, the throw beats him by a mile. The tag by Robertson, and Proctor thrown out at second base. It's a single to left center field. Burleson was able to cut it off, but he did juggle it a bit, picked it up. Proctor saw the ball bobble down to the ground and said, let's try and get into scoring position, but it was a no contest at second. We'll head to the 8th inning. Still 2-0 Memphis. Once again in 2022, the Couch Oil Cares College Scholarship is back. 6 $1,000 scholarships will be awarded later on this summer to graduating seniors from high schools in a 16-county region here in central North Carolina. The application deadline is May the 27th. You can find the applications online, a lot of different spots. CouchOilCares.org, CouchOilCompany.com, Couch Oil's Facebook page, and also DurhamBulls.com. We will have an on-field presentation to the 6 winners right here in late July, on July the 29th. And again, the deadline, May 27th. So get those in. Our great thanks to Couch Oil Company once again for the Couch Oil Cares College Scholarship. 8th inning starts, 2-0 Memphis. Luke Bard checks in as the 4th pitcher of the game for Durham. Peguero through the 7th, allowed a hit, the home run to Mendoza. A couple of walks, but a key double play by Nootbaar. Smashed into a 3-6-1 to get him out of it. Bard's first pitch drills the outside corner for a strike. Bard, a 31-year-old native of Charlotte. And the right-hander has been working himself back into shape over the last week and a half. This is appearance number 7. And the righty's delivery. Breaking ball on the outer black. Strike 2 against Juan Yepes. Hip injury last year, season-ending surgery in late May of last season. Bard, 2 1/4 years of big league service time. There's a breaking ball that's kind of swished in the air to the right of second base. Paredes there. Yepes pops out. Good pitch by Bard on 0-2.
A great 0-2 pitch. He induces soft contact on the infield here. An easy play for Paredes at second base. They're out early in this inning.
He's out number 1 in the 8th. Here's Burleson. Now Luke Bard is the younger brother to Daniel Bard. There's been plenty of big league success for the Bard brothers, but it has not come easily for either. First pitch from Luke, ground ball into right field, in between Aranda and Paredes. And Burleson has his 2nd single of the night. Luke has had some injuries over the last couple of years. He made the opening day roster for the Angels back in 2019, but he missed 2014 and 2015 with injuries. Very limited action in 2013, which was the year after he was drafted in the 1st round out of Georgia Tech. Burleson at first, 1 down. Here's Bard's delivery. Slider outside. But Daniel Bard was in big league baseball with the Red Sox from 2009 to 2013, and then basically hurt Yepes out of the game for about 7 years. And then he got back to the big leagues in a stunner with Colorado, became their closer, earned Comeback Player of the Year honors in 2020, and is continuing his big league career this year. So never say never to the Bard brothers. Bullpen action about to start behind Liberatore for Memphis with 1 out in the top of the 8th. And a good fastball there, bottom of the knees, inner third, 94 from Luke Bard. You've said many times on these airwaves over the years, until they take the uniform from you, you continue playing as long as you can, no matter what the hurdles and obstacles. And the Bards embody that as Sanchez strikes out in a breaking ball.
Make them rip that uniform off your body. A good pitch here from Bard, a slider that was pretty nasty. Starts in the middle of the plate, then breaks down and away. Not a lot you can do with that pitch. Sanchez falls victim. 2 outs.
So here's Connor Capel, Memphis right fielder, nothing of 3 tonight. Only 9 combined hits in the game. Memphis has 6, Durham with 3. But 2 of Memphis's hits are solo home runs. That's the difference. Down and in fastball against Capel at 94. Now the action in the pen for Memphis is a right-hander. Will we see Liberatore for 1 batter, perhaps? Maybe a batter by batter, 8th inning. We'll see. Bard misses down and in. Liberatore 82 pitches through 7. And the leadoff hitter will be a lefty in Master Boney, whom Liberatore has retired both times. That's because Proctor ran into the 3rd out at second base after that single to left center field. Burles in a nice recovery after he couldn't cleanly come up with that hit. But Proctor, he was out by a mile at second base.
On that play, though, I'm thinking about that. We talked about it a little bit in between innings. I love the aggressiveness. I do.
Ball 3 up high.
But know the situation, too. The Bulls are down 2. If you get to second, you're in scoring position. Yeah, but is it worth the trade-off? And you can see that play in front of you the entire way in this ballpark. You can shut it down easily, go back to first, and then somebody hits one out of the park. You got a tie game.
Here's the 3-0. Strike 1. And you can shut it down late and still make. I mean, you can think you want to go to take second base. You can see the throw coming and say, uh-oh, I'm going to be thrown out. And you probably still have time to stop and even get back to first base because you are witnessing that play the entire time.
That's right. But don't get me wrong. I love the aggressiveness. I do. But know when to use it.
3-1. A high pop-up. Long run over by Brujan. He's into the Memphis bullpen. Will have room. Did he overrun it? No! Brujan reaches back and snares it. He ran about 110 feet to get there as the ball was spinning back toward the left field line. He slightly ran past it and then dove back to bring it in. And the 8th inning closes. Athletic grab there by Brujan, and Bard done with Memphis in the 8th. 1 hit, 1 left. After 7.5, it is still 2-0 Memphis. Well, we are back at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. Before we tell you that Liberatore will continue, coming off of the mound when that 8th inning ended, the umpires are always inspecting the pitcher's fingertips for any kind of illegal substance. And this is the first time, Scott, this year we've seen any pitcher question. Brady Williams came out of the dugout. Bard was surrounded by all 3 umpires. And frankly, I'm not quite sure how this was resolved, but it was a long conversation.
Well, this was an out-and-out debate. This was an interesting discussion because it was full of props and actual touching of the fingers. And they're feeling around like they were feeling something that was an unusual substance. I'll be interested to see what comes of this. Bard may be done anyway, but are there any ramifications after?
Ball 1 up and in on Master Boney. Liberatore does continue. He has right-handed help in the bullpen. Yeah, what we've seen, I mean, it's a much different kind of evaluation for the umpires as relievers and starters are coming off the mound this year compared to last. Curve for a strike. Last year was a whole big ordeal. You check the glove, you check the cap, they check inside the belt. This year, it's almost you're coming off the mound, they check your fingertips, and that's it. And it can be a 2-second transaction, and that's it. But this is the first time we've seen any kind of questions raised by any umpire. And then the other 2 came in, and that's what got Brady Williams out of the dugout because Bard was kind of stopped in a roadblock midway on that first base line. And I think you're right. Bard was not going to come back out for the 9th inning anyway, so we may not have an answer on this until the pregame show tomorrow. Ground ball up the middle, base hit, Mastroboni. So a good start to the 8th inning for the Bulls. Left on left hit against Liberatore as he's making now his longest start of the season. And will he continue here as Cardenas bats the tying run? And Ben Johnson not yet leaving the dugout, and now he does. And Liberatore sees over that right shoulder that his manager is on the way, and that's it. So that is only the second hit Liberatore has allowed to a left-handed batter tonight. They're now 2 of 12. And so Ben Johnson wants the right-hander as Cardenas, with plenty of power, will bat as the tying run.
This is good news for the Bulls. Liberatore was terrific. He was outstanding tonight, and he really minimized the Bulls' offense. But one of the best things you can do as a team is get another arm in there. They may be great, but it's a different look, and that may jumpstart this offense.
It didn't look like Liberatore's all that happy to see Ben Johnson come out because, again, that ball wasn't hard hit. It's kind of a seeing-eye base hit, but he's a competitor. He wanted to continue, but he has given Memphis another brilliant start. So a right-hander coming in for the Redbirds will step aside. Pitching change. Redbirds 2, Bulls nothing in the bottom of the 8th. Junior Fernandez on for the second time in the series. He was pretty impressive against the Bulls a few days ago. Mid to upper 90s with his fastball through an inning on Wednesday. And the 6'3" right-hander's first pitch down and away with a breaking ball against Cardenas. Liberatore struck out 7, walked 3, allowed 4 singles. And so far no runs, 86 pitches. So Mastroboni at first base, nobody out. The 1-0. High fastball popped out of play. 1-1 on Cardenas. Junior Fernandez, 18 games with St. Louis last year. He broke into the big leagues with the Cardinals in 2019. Strikeout stuff, but command the issue in his time in the big leagues the last 3 years with St. Louis. Long delay, here's the pitch. And a fastball down the middle, sliced down the right side, over the screen. Hits the side of the upper roof area, and ball deflects down toward the bullpen. Strike 2. Right-hander getting loose behind Bard for Durham, looking ahead to the 9th. Ball and 2 strikes. And stepping off is Fernandez. Memphis 2, Bulls nothing. 8th inning. Leaning in over at the belt is Fernandez. Sign dropped by Sanchez. And here's the pitch. Reaching to spoil a little slider away. It is punched to the bricks by Cardenas.
Was not a comfortable swing by any stretch, but effective. Sometimes you've got to extend, and when you extend, it leaves you off balance just to get a piece. Cardenas does to see another pitch.
2-0 Memphis, bottom of the 8th. Safe lead, Mastroboni at first. Here's the pitch, and it's popped up out of play. Straight back again, no shot for Ali Sanchez. Cardenas has walked and fanned in the game. David Rodriguez on deck, and then Jim Haley. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the pitch. Oh, fights it off. A looper foul down toward the Durham bullpen. Knocked down by Calvin Fauché. Still 1-2.
There is a phrase that is often used when you get jammed. Is the pitcher's in your kitchen? I was in the kitchen rattling some pots and pans.
He was in the garbage disposal system
He
right
was.
there. That was a tough one to handle.
That was up and in. But again, Cardenas fights it off. Lives to see another pitch.
1-2. Popped up foul again. This is not an easy at bat for Cardenas, but he's battling.
Well, and that was a healthy cut. That was a better pitch out over the heart of the plate, and he just missed that one. That shows the advantage of just staying alive in the at bat. Get something you can handle.
Ball and 2 strikes on Cardenas. Hanging in this AB is the tying run. Fans trying to get underneath Cardenas. 1-2 again. Swing and a miss. And he got him expanding the zone, down and away, off speed. Out number 1 in the 8th.
Sometimes when you get into swing mode, it's tough to get out of it. And this was a nasty pitch. Looks like the fastball on the outside part of the plate. Ball dives away. Cardenas swings right over the top.
Now Rodriguez will bat. Haley moves on deck. Rodriguez off to a really nice offensive start to this year. Swings away, back pick to first, and back in is Mastroboni with his right hand. Man, any chance he gets, he's throwing.
Yeah, he's proud of that arm. That was a quick snap throw.
1 strike count on Rodriguez, who barely played the first week and a half of the season. And finally got a couple of games to catch after Pinto went to the big leagues and hitting well. Here's the pitch in the dirt. Oh, knocked down by Sanchez. That was 3 feet in front of him to his right.
And not a conventional block. He went out and stuck his glove out rather than getting down, covering the 5-hole hockey term for you Canes fans. He just stuck the glove out and deadened it right in front of the plate. He was lucky, but yet a good play.
Ball to strike on Rodriguez. Mastroboni a little more on the lead at first. Not going. The pitch is fouled off the end of the bat against the bricks and deflects right back to Sanchez. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-0 Memphis, 8th inning. So much history between these teams. AAA National Championship games 3 times. Ball and 2 strikes. The pitch from Fernandez into the dirt, kicks off with the body this time is Sanchez and goes to the backstop. Moving to second is Mastroboni. Same style attempt at blocking that pitch by Sanchez. This one, though, too hot to handle.
Well, that's a danger in going after the pitch like that, is that you don't have your body squared up. The equipment's not in front. The ball can scoot by. It does. The Bulls have a runner at second.
So the wild pitch charged against Fernandez. That takes away any double play crack now with Rodriguez in the batter's box. 1 out, 8th inning. A 2-2 count on the right-handed Rodriguez. He's the tying run in the 8th inning. Fernandez now checks Mastroboni at second. And a pitch, a little broken bat looper toward Robertson. It's over his glove into right center field. Mastroboni's coming to third. He'll be held. And the tying runs are on with 1 out on a shattered bat looper over Robertson.
It's not going to light up the exit velocity charts, but this is effective for the Bulls because it's a broken bat, but yet massaged out past the outstretched Kramer Robertson, first to third. Situation now for the Bulls as Mastroboni goes from second to third.
Yeah, Mastroboni had to hold thinking that Robertson might catch that ball, so he only advances 90 feet. And now you have the lefty batter Tristan Gray coming off the bench to pinch hit for Haley. And we get a pinch runner for Rodriguez, the DH, as Cal Stevenson will replace him. So Gray will pinch hit. Stevenson pinch runs as the tying run. And nobody has more home runs on this Durham Bulls team this year than the man in the batter's box, Tristan Gray. He has 4. Gray is the go-ahead run. And the pitch, swing and a miss. 98 for the first time tonight from Fernandez, dialing it up.
And that was the pitch that Gray wanted. You're looking fastball, you're looking middle, and he got it, but the power and that velocity, it gets by Gray. And nothing harder than coming off the bench and hitting gas.
0-1 on Gray. The pitch, outside, off speed from Fernandez. Mastroboni at third. Rodriguez, the base hit, lifted for Stevenson. He is the pinch runner at first. Outfield deep, straight away. 1 out in the 8th. The pitch from Fernandez. A swing and a foul. Came in and a little bit up with a fastball that time. Strike 2.
Yet another fastball. Gray slowly timing it up. That one straight back, but now being up 1-2, I don't imagine he's going to get another fastball in this next pitch.
But he has spiked a couple of pitches here. If you're Mastrobuoni at third base, be ready to come down the line.
We think alike.
Spangenberg is a good 25 feet off the line.
And the general rule is when you're at third base, you can get off the third base bag as far as that third baseman is. And so Mastrobuoni can cheat, but the danger is
Sanchez throwing, right?
Sanchez getting a beat on you with that arm.
1-2 on the pinch hitter, Tristan Gray. 2-0 Memphis. Here's the pitch. And a swing and is it a miss? Yes, it was a miss, and Sanchez couldn't receive it on the fly, but does collect, and Tristan Gray strikes out. And it was another fastball. It was just below the zone, and Gray down on strikes.
He would have got me too. That's that good fastball again.
And now mound visit by the entire infield, and Ott Trout's Ben Johnson, the manager for Memphis. There's nobody throwing behind Fernandez, so this is all about tactics, positioning, and how to pitch Vidal Brujan here.
It's a defensive meeting, and the reason is Brujan has speed, and he can handle the bat as well. So how do you want to attack this? And what I think Ben Johnson is saying is we're going to position just to get the out. If we can see a run, so be it, but we really want to prevent that runner from on first getting anywhere further than second base.
You know, this feels like a September game, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
I mean, how often are we treated to a game in April where a manager comes out to talk defensive alignment with a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning in the 22nd game of the season?
In a well-pitched ball game, an efficiently played ball game to this point. It's refreshing and fun to see.
All right, Brujan batting left-handed for the first time tonight. The pitch. In and low, ball one. And Brujan stares out at Junior Fernandez. The unlocked power from a year ago from Vidal Brujan. From both sides. 1-ball count. Spangenberg playing in at third. A half swing at a pitch that was down and in. Looked like a cutter from Fernandez. Maybe a slider. That was to the back foot, and that was nowhere near the zone, but Brujan was in swing mode thinking a fastball was coming.
Yeah, that was a whoops. He was looking fastball all the way, could not hold up once he identified that it was that slider.
1-1 count. Fernandez locked in. Here's the pitch. He misses low. Took something off there. It's nice when he takes something off and he still hit 90.
That was his BP fastball.
2-1 on Brujan. Mastrobuoni at third, Stevenson at first. 2-0 Memphis in the last of the 8th. 2-1. Strike two. Brujan was hoping it was down. Looked to be a pretty good pitch to me, but close.
99 at the knees.
Yeah. Two and two. So Fernandez cradles that red glove just below his left shoulder. Gets the sign from Ali Sanchez. 2-2. Stevenson breaks. The pitch is inside. Now Stevenson shut it down. He took 3 quick steps to second base and then stops. Well, he'll be running now, and he's the tying run at first base. Full count on Brujan. Brujan, who hit 12 home runs last year for the Bulls. Slightly open stance off the plate. Stevenson breaks the 3-2. A swing and a fly left center field. Over is DeLuzio to the alley. Back goes Burleson. Reaches up and he makes a running backhand catch under the line score. Would have tied the game. It would have been a triple. Hands on the hips of Brujan just off of second base as Alec Burleson robs Brujan of a game-tying extra base hit.
Tremendous play by Burleson. He took a great route to it and then had to throw the glove up at the last second. If it gets over, this game's tied, but he runs it down. Tremendous play by the Redbirds left fielder.
Brujan still looking out that spot where Burleson pilfered a 2-run triple. The Bulls an inch away from tying the game. Instead, we head to the ninth, still 2-0 Memphis. Well, a game-saving catch by left fielder Alec Burleson, at least for now. Vidal Brujan rocking one out to left center field. Burleson raced back, caught it with the tying runs aboard. And now we hit the ninth, still 2-0 Memphis. Christopher Go, the new pitcher for the Bulls, and bounces in a breaking pitch past Evan Mendoza. Of anybody in this ballpark who can appreciate that catch, it's the man to my right, Scott Post. He'll break down that route by Burleson in a minute. There's ball 2 from Go.
Well, this ball was looking to head into the gap, and the ball's going to come back to him a little bit since it's off a left-handed bat in left field. But he did a great job of running parallel to the wall and running and then throwing the glove up at the last minute. It was a tremendous play, and at this point looks to be a game saver.
Fastball, strike 1 from Go.
Because no doubt, if that ball's over his head, this game's tied, and Brujan's probably standing at third.
2-1 on the way from Go. High and in, off speed, bending back away from the pitch is Mendoza, ball 3.
Go looking at his hands, it appears that he lost a grip very early in that, as evidenced by where that pitch went. He went back immediately for the rosin bag.
So Bard throws the 8th, gives up a hit, strikes out a man. Was checked out head to toe as he left the mound in that 8th inning. We'll get more details on that from Brady Williams after the game and fill you in pregame show tomorrow as Mendoza takes low for ball 4.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing what that conversation was about.
So Mendoza to first base, a walk now to Luzio. Bullpen action for Memphis. Looking ahead of the bottom of the ninth is likely Jake Walsh. Haven't seen a number yet from the right-hander. But Walsh has been their back-end guy this year with 4 saves and 4 opportunities. Goes first pitch, is sliced by DeLuzio. Right field to the line comes Cardenas, moving toward the bullpen, and he will make the catch in fairgrounds. Good concentration there by Cardenas just before he got to the inside bullpen mound.
Well, Cardenas covers some ground here to make the play, and now the Bulls have it out in the inning. A nice job by the Bulls right fielder to run that one down.
I'm still watching Vidal Brujan. He's still looking out at that line score where Burleson caught that ball. 1 out, 1 on. Strike 1 on Spansberg. It is tough. I mean, he's looking out at the line score again. He's not checking the count. He's not checking the outs. He's not checking the miles per hour on that pitch. He's looking at that spot where Burleson has made that incredible catch on him.
How'd he get there?
It is hard to block that out of your mind, isn't it? Oh, 1 pitch. Grounded over the mound, right to the shortstop. Gray takes it to the bag, fires to first. That's a double play. Tristan Gray replacing Jim Haley at shortstop, makes the play. 6-3 double play. So Go does the job. Bulls will need 2 to tie, 3 to steal it. Last call for Durham. 2-0 Memphis after 8.5. Memphis on top of the Bulls by a 2-0 score. Last of the ninth. And Jake Walsh, 4 for 4 in saves, is back out here for the Memphis Redbirds. Picked up a save on Wednesday nights. Walsh out of Florida Southern, a 16th rounder 5 years ago by the Cardinals. Added to the 40-man this past November. So Walsh trying to nail down save number 5. He has a 2-0 lead. And it's the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Bulls. It begins with Paredes. And the first pitch high from Walsh, ball 1. He has not allowed an earned run all year. 9 innings of work, 4 hits, 3 walks. He struck out 12, and just 1 lonely unearned run against him. The 1-0 on Paredes. Breaking ball drops in, strike 1. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors, Memphis. No runs, 5 hits, no errors for Durham. Off of the line, Spangenberg at third. And the 1-1 to Paredes is over below ball 2. One note we found out that was confirmed in between innings, the discussion between Luke Bard, Brady Williams, and the 3 umpires when he was held at that first base line coming off the field when the 8th ended. We'll fill you in on details after this pitch as they swing at a foul. We got confirmation in between innings that Bard was ejected from the game, and a foreign substance was evidently found on his arm by the umpiring crew. And that has been confirmed. Radio confirmation from the press box to the umpires in between innings. So that was the discussion and the net effect. Here's the 2-2. A swung on line to second base. Robertson, a step left, makes the catch. Hard hit ball, low line drive, but easily played by Robertson.
Guy's been positioned there for a while, and this ball hit on the nose right into the defense. Tough break for Paredes and the Bulls. 1 out in the inning.
And now here's Jonathan Aranda, 0 for 3. Struck out a couple of times, grounded into a double play in the 4th. And the first pitch from Walsh, low. Now, I do not know what that means in terms of, is it an ejection only? Is it a suspension? Are there any automatic additional penalties attached to that? We don't know. Ryan Bolt on deck. Here's the pitch, and it's high. Liberatore benefited from that awesome running catch by Burleson. 7+ innings and another brilliant outing tonight for Liberatore. 4 hits, 3 walks, struck out 7. So he's thrown now 14+ consecutive scoreless innings. And Fernandez a scoreless inning with a hit and 2 strikeouts. And a swing and a miss by Jonathan Aranda. And Walsh trying to put it down. 2-0 Memphis, 9th inning. Here's the pitch. Down and in. Well, Ryan Bolt would like to bat as the tying run in a game like this. Three balls and a strike. Bolt on deck. Here's the pitch. And it's fouled away. Full counts on Aranda.
So doing some research on this suspension for foreign substances. Precedent has been set, and it's the major leagues that you're automatically ejected from that game and then suspended for 10 games.
But we don't know if that's the minor league suspension.
We do not know. Okay. And if you're a reliever, I mean, that means that's really 3 games, right?
3-2. Hit foul. High, arcing left side. Out of play. One out, bottom 9. Memphis 2, Durham nothing. And a full count on Aranda. Here's the pitch from Walsh. High and wide, not close. And the Bulls will get the tie and run up. And guess who? Ryan Bolt, 3 home run game for the first time in his pro career last night in game 325. And a deep drive to center field his first time up tonight in the 2nd inning against Liberatore. And yes, Ali Sanchez is going to the mound. Let's have a little communique with Jake Walsh. Hey, you might want to pay attention to this guy. Here's what's happened the last 24 hours in case you were sleeping.
Yeah, in case you weren't watching last night, this is the guy that hit the 3 home runs. Yeah. We got to be very careful with him because he could tie the game up with 1 swing.
Yep. I do remember back in Pony League, I had a chance to throw my first and only no-hitter. There were 7-inning games. I'm in the 7th inning throwing. The biggest home run hitter in the league was coming up, Patrick Unzicker. I looked over at my head coach, Dennis Ping, and I put up 4 fingers from the mound. He didn't know what that meant. So I had to pitch to him, and he hit a ball over the trees in left center field. It must have been 260 feet away back then. There it went. So Ryan Bolt facing Walsh as the tie-in run. 2-0 Memphis, 9th inning. And the first pitch, a little high, ball 1. See, you're not the only one who remembers all the very exact details.
Well, I
years and
don't
years
doubt
ago.
it. You remember a lot more than I do.
Yep. Tiny lead at first by Aranda. Here's the pitch. Outside again. He has missed considerably on these last 3 pitches. Rubs up the baseball return to him by Sanchez. Credit to Arana. He's taken about a half-step lead because we've seen Ali Sanchez throw behind everybody tonight at first base, at second base.
Well, Arana knows his run means nothing right now.
Walsh ready on 2-0. Glove of the chest. Digs for the grip. Breaking ball on a thick inside corner.
That's a good breaking ball. Downward break off the table. And when the fastball's not working, why not throw it? Get that release point down. Still a hitter's count.
Yeah, no need for Ryan Bolt to chase it. 2-1 count. Outfield deep, everywhere. The pitch. Oh, Bolt wanted to chase. Let it go. Up and away at the shoulders. Ford Proctor next for Durham. If he bats, should Bolt reach, he's the winning run. Three balls and a strike. You're giving Bolt the green light here. Bright green. The pitch. Breaking ball inside. It's a walk. Back to back. And Proctor bats as the winning run. So after Paredes is lined out, 2 straight walks. And now it is Ford Proctor. Walsh ready. A look back to second. And the pitch. A swing and a high fly left field. Burleson coming in, though. Still on the move. Makes the catch. Proctor got underneath it. Second out, 9th inning. And now the last shot is Mastroboni. Memphis 2, Durham nothing, 9th inning.
Proctor was looking, first pitch fastball, got it. Put the barrel on it, but just got underneath it.
So here's Mastroboni. 1 of 3 in the game. That was a 7th inning, check that, an 8th inning single against Liberatore. That chased him from the game. And the pitch on the lefty. Off speed, inside on the corner. Mastroboni hit his first AAA home run of his career a week and a half ago up in Norfolk. He's the winning run. Outfield deep all the way around as Walsh checks second. And the 0-1 pitch at the knees, down the middle, strike 2. There's 96, easy out of the hand from Walsh. A gapper should tie it with Bolt speed at first. 2 outs, 2-strike pitch, foul off. 97 climbing the ladder. Mastroboni gets to that fastball.
It's a pretty healthy cut for a 2-strike swing.
Home run in the 4th by Sanchez. Home run in the 7th by Mendoza. That is it. The only scratches we've seen all game. Memphis leads 2-0. Tying runs on 2 outs. Bulls 9th. Walsh tilts the head, looks at second. 0-2 pitch. High and wide. 1-2. I mean, there's no real in-between with Walsh right now. He's either nailing his spot or he's missing by a couple of feet. Sanchez hangs the fingers almost onto the dirt. Gives the sign to Walsh. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here it comes to Miles. Breaking ball, bounce the other way, and it jumps over the glove of Spangenberg. It's into left field. Coming around third is Aranda. The throw is going to be cut off. Sliding in is Aranda, and the Bulls still have life. 2-1 Memphis in the 9th inning. Tying run at second, and Cardenas coming up.
Well, how about this? This is the first run that Walsh has given up this year, but Mastroboni, good job with 2 strikes. Got a breaking ball and hammers this with some overspin. Spangenberg could not come up with it. It hops over his glove. Runners at first and second for the Bulls. Go ahead run at first, tying run at second. Forces a meeting on the mound.
So out comes the pitching coach for Memphis, still waiting on a scoring ruling on that one. Couple of low hops. It was just left of Spangenberg and jumped over his glove. It will be a hit and an RBI now for Masterboni. Wise play, though, by Burleson. No need to throw home. You hit the cutoff man, and you keep Bolt at second base, and that's what he did.
But there's speed at second base for the Bulls. That's important. Bolt there. Any base hit, Brady Williams is going to send him. He's been aggressive anyway. And why not?
Now the Bulls, over this phenomenal run of championship seasons, we've yet to have that bottom of the ninth inning magical moment this year. And the Bulls are used to pulling these off left and right.
Could it be?
It's set up. Cardenas in his first AAA year. He's 0 for 2, a chance to be the hero. Bulls down 2-1 in the ninth. Runners with their leads. Walsh's pitch. Swing and a miss. 93 past the hands. Now the outfield that generally has been deep in this inning comes in a couple of steps around the board. You can't let a blooper land in front of you here. But a ball that sails over their heads would be a Bulls winner. 1 strike count. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Slider. And that was a good one by Walsh.
Yeah, a lot of movement on that. That really dove out of the zone. Cardenas didn't have a chance.
Well, the Bulls, just as they were a moment ago, down to their last strike. Masterboni hops a single to left to bring in a run. He's at first. Bull at second. 2-1 Memphis, ninth inning, 2 outs. 0-2. Swing and a miss. And Memphis beats the Bulls. Walsh strikes out Cardenas on a slider. Might have been foul tipped. It jarred into the mid of Sanchez. He held on. And the Redbirds pick up their 3rd win in 4 games in this series over the Bulls. It's a 2-1 final.
Well, a well-pitched game all the way around, but you've got to give credit to Matthew Liberatore for what he did for 7 innings. Scattered 3 hits, struck out 7, walked 3. That set the foundation. 2 solo home runs from the Redbirds were enough. Ali Sanchez and Evan Mendoza proved to be too much for the Bulls as they made a valiant comeback in the 9th, but not to be.
Well, and do not forget that game-saving catch by Burleson in the bottom of the 8th inning. Saved 2 runs off the board. Memphis wins by 1.
A good analyst wouldn't have forgotten that, but this one did.
We're a team, man. Final score, Memphis 2, Durham 1. 5th game of this series comes up tomorrow night at 6:35. Television airtime 6:30. Radio airtime 6:20. The Bulls are TBD. Johan Oviedo is scheduled to start for Memphis tomorrow. So your final score from the DBAP, Memphis 2, Durham 1. They are setting up for postgame fireworks. On the TV side, we will say good night. Thank you for watching. Final score, Memphis 2, Durham 1. Good night from the Bull City.